The Joe Rogan Experience is by far and large one of, if not the biggest podcast out there right now. It's certainly number one on Spotify because they're trying to keep it no matter what. And while many go the way you'd think, others do take a turn. We'll break it down for you. But before we do that, go ahead and do us a favor by leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And with that being said, let's get straight to the video. Number 7, Andrew Hill.
Show me something good, because this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. That guy's running into him. See, this is the thing with all these goddamn demonstrations. That guy's willingly cooperating.
Well, yeah, I mean,
look at that.
He's practicing the technique. And practicing technique, you either cooperate or your arm breaks.
Well, this isn't even cooperating. This guy's throwing himself on the ground. This is silly. The guy's just standing there. This would never work against a trained fighter. Never. Not in a million years. You get an NCAA Division I wrestler, he's going to shoot on this guy, and this guy's going to be on his head in seconds. It just doesn't work.
Joe Rogan has been a commentator for UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, for a very long time. Do you want to win an iPhone 12, maybe a MacBook Pro? How about $500 cash? All you have to do is comment the secret hidden message somewhere in this video. That's it. Oh, and leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel so we can keep affording these giveaways. Winner will be announced at the last day of each month. Thanks for watching and good luck. As a result of that, a topic of conversation that very much comes up on the Joe Rogan Experience is that of martial arts. One time he had a scientist on his show named Andrew Hill who revealed that he was a practitioner of Aikido.
This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at nonsense.
Well, you're looking at people practicing techniques, not a multi.
Yeah, let's see the multi. What should he look for?
Exposition, I think, and I think it was in Japan. Maybe an
exhibition or exposition.
I think it was exhibition.
There's a lot of fuckery when it comes to martial arts, and a lot of people that get trapped into all this fuckery. And I've met a lot of people that are very intelligent people that swear that their sensei is the guy that has the answers to all this jazz. This motherfucker's not stopping anybody from taking him down.
Joe acknowledged that as a very interesting martial art, and yet said that he didn't really feel it matched up to all the other various martial arts because of its techniques and beliefs.
I'm telling you right now, that old dude with his clothesline technique. Well, this is hard to see with that kind of shit. Those demonstrations are so
hard to pick apart, you know, from here. If you were in the dojo watching the footwork, you might.
There's this old judo, but the way he moved was logical. I mean, I understood that what he was doing was effective.
Yeah.
Based on my knowledge of the human body and movement. I'm watching some cooperation there. I'm watching a guy run into this guy's punches or this guy's forearms.
Number 6, Brian Redman. Like with any podcast or just any show in general that you're a guest on, you need to follow certain rules of etiquette. For example, self-promotion is fine, but don't push it. Except as time went on, Brian used the show more and more to highlight himself and his comedic standing, even at the end of one podcast segueing from a topic to talk about a review he got during a comedy show. Rogan was not happy about this and the two argued. We blame him for other things, but not this one. Number 5, Jamie Kilstein.
Hello, freak bitches.
Okay, so I am known as this male feminist, which again, and it kind of becomes my thing. So I go on your show.
That part was ignored conveniently.
The whole part where he's just like, what's funny about it? And like, that's a good, technically, that's an anti-rape joke, right?
Exactly. Which if you know Daniel, that's how he thinks. I mean, he's not a bad guy in any sense of the word.
And that's a great way, but that has to do with these echo chambers where I'm like, well, I didn't fucking hear that part of it.
Here's one that featured comedian Jamie Kilstein, and the results were not funny at all. During an episode, the two got into a talk about a joke that Jamie had done during a sketch about assaulting women.
Just started screaming like, don't talk about it. And like, so they ignored her the whole time. And my girlfriend and I would look over, and then she would like have another sip of her drink and watch the show and giggle, and then rape would come up, and she was like, stop, and she would just scream, but like she didn't just. And I'm not trying to sound victim-y, by the way.
But for the sake of honesty, the real issue came not just because of that, but because of your characterization.
The next day.
Yeah.
Totally. So the next day...
There's a video out about it that someone put together called the Kilstein Delusion.
Yeah, and some of that shit was taken out of context. Some of that shit I will completely like own up to. I watched it like once. I mean...
And he even stated that being murdered is better than having to go through that assault. Hearing that, Joe lost it and called him crazy, because you can get help and heal from an assault, whereas death is death. But there are jokes you just don't make, and this is one of them.
I lost my managers. I was having like someone hacked my Twitter and just wrote rape all over it. And I was kind of like,
why'd you lose your manager?
They said it was because I don't cooperate with the comedy community.
Number 4, Brian Callen. Two of Joe's favorite guests that he likes to have on repeatedly are former The Ultimate Fighter champ Brendan Schaub and also Brian Callen.
Like he was looking
You know
down
what happened
there.
to me? I got bullied for a full year, and it turned me into a fucking, if somebody tried to bully me, I'll show up at your fucking house and kill you. That's what happens. I get so angry.
I'm not buying
I
that
hate when he
even
talks
remotely.
like that. I hate when.
Hey,
That's
bro,
not true.
You fucking bully me.
If I
you know
bully
you
you,
try
problem
bullying me
is,
right
bro,
now, motherfucker.
you know what your problem
Hold
is?
on, let me
Here's
handle
your
this.
problem.
Joe called out Callen for his tough guy attitude that was clearly a facade and noted that it wasn't their fault that he let people talk to him for so long a certain way.
He goes,
would fuck
"Oh,
this guy
I
up."
fucking wish a demon would grab me, man. You know what I would do?" And I'm like,
I get mad.
Why are you talking to me
It's
like
not
this?
that you get mad. It's that you hang around with people for a long time. You hung around with people that allowed you to talk like that.
No.
Without mocking you.
Who aren't
No.
tough.
You bully me, bro. I don't
you
give a
fuck
shit
up
about
a
your
demon?
UFC bullshit. I will fucking come right at you.
I could pin you on the ground right now and put
you
my
could
dick
try.
in your mouth.
You could
for
try.
no reason.
You could try. And guess
Just
what?
because it's the nice
Guess
Saturday.
what? I would fucking come right to your house.
Number 3, Adam Conover.
But it is a choice, right? I mean, if
I
you're
don't know.
choosing to add hormones to a child's body, that's a choice.
It's
Or hormone
a choice on the
blockers?
it's a choice on the part of the parent. It's not a choice on the part of the child to like in the same
not-
way that being
Right now, the rights of transgender people are more at risk than ever before. Certain laws are being put into place like Texas and Florida to make it so that just existing is hard in the literal sense. It's rather sickening. Joe Rogan brought on comedian and TV host Adam Conover to discuss the issue of transgender people once, and Adam made his thoughts clear when he noted
the experience of being trans and not receiving hormones, right, and not having the body that you identify with, the feeling of dysphoria, right, is extremely like painful and is a condition unto itself, right.
But Joe was very quick to point out issues with that philosophy.
The best treatment for that we know exists is to do gender confirmation via hormones. And
you know that doesn't affect the suicide rate. The suicide rate for trans people is very high, post-op and pre-op. Really doesn't get affected by whether or not you treat them.
well, the operation, one
the question could be,
misconception
like,
is
why is that? Is that because they're not accepted by society and we're not more loving?
This fear is even more prevalent now, and so those who are out there trying to fix transgender people should hear Rogan's words and back off. Number 2, Joey Diaz.
Do you
If
feel
I
like
tell
people
you
are more
something, you won't-
sensitive?
I know you won't get mad at me. I feel the energy is different, but guess what, G?
What?
It don't apply to me. It don't apply to me. Doesn't apply to me, and it's never going to apply to me. Okay? I understand me shooting your special on your network. You don't want me to use certain words. There's parts, and I get that. This is a business.
Right.
This is a business, and I got mouths to feed.
Now let's talk about Joey Diaz, comedian, actor, and podcast host. And he's also a Cuban American. Because of how he was raised and where he was raised, he finds himself in a tricky position in terms of how he talks and the words he uses.
Okay? And I'm sorry.
No.
This is just
this
so you know.
You
No!
shouldn't be sorry. You're not
This is
supposed
just
to
so
be
you know.
sorry.
You know what I put on yesterday? And this is it. This
What?
is it because it's time.
What?
We're not taking it no more. I'm not taking it no more. I put on an album, and again, I'm very sorry if I offend somebody. I didn't name it this. He did. So take your fucking problem up with him. Name of the album is Bicentennial Nigga.
Joe understood his position and didn't push it too far. And it is a very unique issue because times have changed and the words we say have meaning. Don't they, Joe? Number 1, the N-word apology.
I'm making this video to talk about the most regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast.
And that brings us to a time recently when he lost it in terms of an apology. Rogan was called out for using the N-word in previous podcasts over the years. As such, he made an apology video that he posted online.
Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, I thought as long as it was in context, people would understand what I was doing. I was also talking about how there's not another word like it in the entire English language is allowed to use it, and they can use it in so many different ways. Like if a white person says that word, it's racist and toxic, but A black person can use it and it could be a punchline. It could be a term of endearment.
A lot of people responded to this, and those who even had Joe Rogan's back at one point in time, like The Rock, backed out of supporting him after they heard what he said. The musician who called him out noted that the word should never have been in his mouth.
It could be lyrics to a rap song. It could be a positive affirmation. It's a very unusual word, but it's not my word to use. I'm well aware of that now. And there's another clip that I have to address. There's a clip from 11 years ago.
Sadly, he hasn't apologized for many of the other things he's done, like talking lies about the COVID vaccine, but we'll take what we can get.
And I was trying to make the story entertaining, and I said we got out, and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that.
And there you have it, everyone, a look at Joe Rogan and the times where he's gotten up in arms during his podcast. Which of these moments do you remember happening the first time? Which ones do you applaud Joe for having key thoughts about? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.